Greetings, greetings. This is Revere Sky, Revere Sky's Essence. So, this is a mini quiz that everybody should understand, all of that, okay? Your sense of direction. Your sense of direction. That means understanding the stars and the constellations, the roads, the highways, where the sun rises, where the sun set. Very important. So where does the sun rise? Where does the sun rise? The sun rises in the east. But if you want to be specific, the southeast. Okay? It's always coming from the southeast. Where does it set? It sets in the west. And it sets in the northwest, not just flat out west. Okay? Your highways, your interstates, all the latitude. Sometimes I get my longitude and latitude mixed up, but I know east to west and north to south. Okay, longitude, long, latitude, left to right. Okay, so all the digits that are multiple of 5 or end with 5, like 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, all the numbers, digits that end in 5 on the interstate, they run longitude, the long way, north and south. Okay? Not only that, you have to pay attention to the numbers. If you're in a state and you're heading south, your numbers go lower. So you know for a fact, if you're at mile marker 25, you got 25 miles before you get to that state line. Okay? It's a little different when you're going north because you're counting from low to high. So let's just do Interstate 95. If you're on Interstate 95, going north, the numbers count from low to high. When you're going south, the numbers count from high to low. So when you're going south, you know exactly how many miles you got till you get to the next state line. When you're going north, you know what direction you're going. Okay, now east and west. All east and west numbers are divisible by 2. Divisible by 2. They're solid numbers. They end in 0. But down south, they got Interstate 2, Interstate 8, you know. It all deals with that latitude on that grid, okay? Just like you got Interstate 94 above 90. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 go from east to west. Do you know when you're going east, do the numbers get high or low? You know that the numbers get high because what interstate is on the East Coast? I-95, I-85, I-75. So the numbers are getting higher. What number is on the West Coast? I-5, I-15, I-25. So you know the numbers are getting lower, right? So if you're on I-40 going east, the numbers are getting higher. If you're on I-40 going west, the exit numbers are getting lower. Why is this so important right now to understand this? Because you need to have a sense of direction of where you're going in your country. Not only do you need a sense of direction, you just never know. Technology may fail on you. You may have to do things the old bug out way. You need to understand a sense of direction. So again, if you're headed west on I-80, are the numbers getting higher or lower? The numbers are getting lower. Okay? So if you at exit 180, you know you got 180 miles before you get to the next state line. It's different going east though, because you're going to start off low and work your way high. You don't know how many miles in that state. Okay? That's the difference. So if you're on I-80 going east, are the numbers going to get higher or lower? The numbers are going to get higher. This is very important, understanding and having a sense of direction of where you come from. That's like if you're stranded and you need to know what direction to start heading, sometimes you got to wait until that sunrise or till that sunset. You got to observe these things. Sometimes you got to look at the Big Dipper and you got to say, is that Big Dipper upside down? Certain times of the day, the Big Dipper ends up upside down. That lets you know what time of the day it is. At night, what time of the night it is. Because see, the Big Dipper will rise in, I'll give you an example. It will rise in the north or the south, and it'll be upside down or upright. And you got to know when that Big Dipper is in the right position for you to navigate. Okay? Knowing a sense of direction and being able to navigate at all times. Now, U.S. highways are a bit different. They don't always have exits. The only way they have mile markers and exits. Another thing, when you're at closer to the Mexican border, let's say you get off I-10 and you want to go south into the Mexican border. They don't have mile markers. Why? Because they don't want people who are fleeing into the country to know where they're at. They don't want nobody to be able to call and say, pick me up at this mile marker. They don't have mile markers. I think it's the state of Iowa. The mile markers do not line up with the mileage. It's either Iowa or not Idaho. It's somewhere up there where they got a bunch of plains and grassy land, and all the dang land is like checkerboard, kind of like. And it's like windy highway roads. Well, anyway, when you get to this state, some of these highways or interstates, their numbers do not line up with their mileage. So you got to be mindful of that too. Start understanding your sense of direction. Start realizing what rivers run through what states. Start realizing where the dams are, where they dam it up. Like the Columbia on 84 that comes from Canada and separates Washington from Oregon. I think they have 3 dams. I be thinking they got like 5 dams, but I think for a fact they got 3 dams. Know where they dam up everything. Think about the Mississippi. How many spots on the Mississippi is it dammed up? How many states does Mississippi run through? In specific states, what major cities do it run through? Okay? You need to know these things. You need to have a sense of direction. You need to know where the sun rises and the sun set. You need to know your longitude and latitude. You need to know up from down, east from west. You need to know this. You also need to know elevation. You also need to know elevation. This is crucial that you know above sea level, below sea level. You need to know when you're in a valley and it used to be a lake or a river or a pond, but all of a sudden they put a neighborhood there. You need to understand this, because if the world goes crazy or mad and everything that these people designed to slow us down starts to speed up, you got to understand that the only way the information flows on this planet is with water. So if they have obstructed the water and dammed up the water so it can't flow intellectually, then what happens? Just imagine if their system quits working and the water go where it wants to go. You got to be prepared to know how to move. You might want to invest in a canoe or a paddle boat, something that's not going to break if it scrub up against something. Okay, I'm just saying. You might want to think about it. So there we have it. Unearth the magic. The truth will definitely set you free. Mwah.